Sumo Gragas by Sita Duncan. Hello and welcome to Sita Duncan Sumo Gragas fan skin for League of Legends. A friend of mine actually suggested that I do a Sumo Gragas skin for fun, and I thought it would be absolutely hilarious. So that is where this came from. I also decided around the same time to begin experimenting with time-lapse video recording things such as Cam Studio. After fiddling around for several hours trying to figure out exactly how everything worked, I finally have it down. And we have a 4-minute drawing of a Sumo Gragas that originally took me 5 hours. One of the best things about drawing the Sumo Gragas was I don't often do a lot of fan art, so drawing a character like this was a nice change. I also had to struggle with his proportions. They're pretty crazy. He has a ginormous belly, and his head kept on coming out too small, or too big rather, so I had to shrink his head to make it the appropriate size to his stomach, which is supposed to be very big. He barrel-chested man with barrel, except for in this case, he has a sake bottle. I'm doing this with Adobe Photoshop, and I'm just working in grayscale because it's a little bit easier for painting. I don't have to worry so much about the contour of the line art. I'm just working on blocking things out with a brush with pressure sensitivity enabled. And right around here I realized that his scraggly hair wasn't going to work, so I gave him a top knot. To figure out exactly how to draw the top knot, of course, I grabbed a reference from Google to figure out how they kept their hair up. And it was around this time I also realized that he needed a large rope belt instead of his usual thong piece because, well, I don't know, perhaps he tugs boats in his off time or something, I don't know, but it was definitely more fun to do the rope belt. I'm just lightening up the rest of them. Messing around. I thought I'd put tassels on the belt like there are in some of the images, but it wasn't working because his legs are too short, and it isn't working out because he is squatting and he's like, whoa, he's in a stance. Here I am adding highlights to the beard, which is unusually tidy. I guess Sumo Gragas has a little bit of more hygiene than his usual self, perhaps. Adding on color, which I really think brings the piece to life all of a sudden. Once I start putting the color on there, I really enjoyed it. It was pretty sweet. I also realized his toenail was too big, so I fixed it. It's kind of hard to talk about this because it's going so fast. Seriously, 4 minutes used to be 5 hours. Fuzzier eyebrows. Gonna make his eyes a little bit meaner looking too. And I also realized that he had tattoos, which I had never noticed before, so that's another thing that was a plus for staring at his reference image of his usual Gragas self. Adding shiny bits to his beard, and to tie in the tattoos to the sake bottle, I added some red loops. Tried to make them fit to the contour, the shape of the thing. And sake is spilling out of his sake bottle instead of the purple alcohol, or maybe it's grape juice in his other barrel. You know, maybe it is grape juice in his other barrel. Perhaps I'm a bad person for giving him a sake bottle. What if he's like a recovering alcoholic or something? Well, let's hope he doesn't usually drink grape juice. And I'm almost done here, adding in some highlights, and we have a Sumo Gragas skin. Oh yeah. Thank you for tuning in. This was Sumo Gragas by Sita Duncan.